Boom. Stranger Things 4, Volume 2, 11 days away, just like Millie B. Yeah, we're in the house. My raps are getting better, just like these hot takes. I'm not wearing a sweater, though.
I think it's the third podcast in a row that you've started off.
I like to do it. Do you care?
No.
We are an unusual couple, you know.
Welcome back to another episode.
4 weeks in a row, unheard of.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Not me at all.
Not me. That's for sure. All right. Well, today is going to be a fun little hot takes episode. We've done these before. We've done a hot takes episode for Marvel. Did we do one for Star Wars?
Yep.
We did one for Star Wars. You guys can scroll back and look at those.
Or we did a fandom one. I think we did Marvel, Star Wars, and then like a general like.
I think we were going to. We never did.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we never did like the Harry Potter ones or anything that I had written down.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, today is going to be a Stranger Things version because that's the hot topic right now, you guys. Stranger Things is what's in.
Yeah, we're 11 days away. I think Volume 2 is unequivocally my most anticipated piece of media maybe ever. Like actually.
That was a big word.
It's like on par with the hype I had for Spider-Man No Way Home even. Like that big.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. It's up there, people.
Oh, my word.
Yep. Why? Because we know it's going to deliver. We know crazy shit's going to happen. And we're getting fed. Like the finale is damn near 2.5 hours long.
Should we just dive right in?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Okay.
I want to say a few things beforehand.
Okay.
We are going to give you guys a little backstory on something that happened to us recently.
Oh, so true.
So if you don't know, back in May before Volume 1 of Stranger Things 4 dropped, we did a little,
Stranger Things
filming locations vlog. We live in Georgia. Most of the show's filmed in Georgia. So we went to like iconic locations, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. We said we'll do Volume 2 before Volume 2 drops. So
the other day,
take the floor, yeah.
we went to a couple of places, a couple of new ones, a couple of old ones that we wanted to hit again. We get to the end of the day and we go back to Hawkins High School. And if you follow me or Chris on like any of our other platforms, like you've seen us post pictures from inside the school. We got inside the school. We actually saw a TikTok on our For You page, like I'd say maybe 2 weeks ago, of these two guys that got
Less than even, yeah. It was like
these
not
two
long
guys
ago.
like got into the gym successfully, and we were like, how did you do that? Because when we went, we like walked around the building, like tried to open like all the doors that we could see, and like none of them would open. Yeah. And they're like, we just walked in, and I was like, okay, that's not helpful. But when we went back the second time, like literally like 2 days ago, this back door to the gym, because the way that the building's set up, there's three buildings. There's like the main building, there's the building where the gym is, and then there's the building where the cafeteria is that they film in. And so the back door to the gym section of the building was like open, and I was like, oh, interesting. But like last time we were there, there's fences up, and then this time the fence was taken down, so there was a way to get to that back door. So me and Chris were like, well, okay, it's open, let's go on it. Went in, we're in the gym, we're chilling and stuff. And because Volume 1 has recently come out, when we went before Volume 1 came out. So like no one was really there because no one was really thinking about Stranger Things. But now that Volume 1's out, it's on people's minds. People want to go to these places. So we were at the gym, and then a bunch of other people started showing up because, the school is a very popular place, a very easy place to find. This like woman walks in through like the front door, and I was like, how did you open that? Because we tried pulling on it and it wouldn't open. But there's also like this group of like 6 or 7 like kids, and when I say kids, I mean like genuinely they were anywhere between middle school to like early high school age, and they were like walking around and stuff, and they were walking from the main building to the gym. When we saw them as we were walking from the gym to the main building, and we hear like an alarm going off inside the main building, and me and Chris are kind of like, that's alarming, no pun intended.
A little bit.
But the alarm's only going off in the main building. There's no alarm that went off in the gym, no alarm that went off in the room, like the building where the cafeteria is. It was just in the main building. So we like weren't concerned about it. It was like relatively quiet. We were like, it's whatever. Who cares? I was like, we're not near the group of people. Like if a cop pulls up, like they're arresting like these group of children before they come further down. to where we are. And so me and Chris are walking around.
Actually, we didn't even fathom the idea of a police officer coming.
Well, no, I said if a police, like, I remember when we were walking, I was like, if a cop pulls up, like, they're not going to come to us first.
Yeah.
So me and Chris were walking around the back of the third building because we wanted to see the field, like the field that Chrissy walks through. We wanted to find the alley that, like, Steve and Nancy have all their conversations
Which
in.
we did find.
You'll see those in the vlog. And then I noticed this back door that looks like kind of open. And I'm like, this door leads to the cafeteria. So we open it, we go in, we're in the cafeteria. Whoop-de-doo. It's a great time. And then we finish doing our stuff in the cafeteria and we go to leave. Like, we're walking here, we go to explore more of the building. And as we leave, we walk past this window. And as we walk past this window, we see the top of a cop car just drive by this, like, through this alleyway. And me and Chris were like, we like ducked and we were like, run. So we're like running back through the cafeteria and like back to the door that we came in through. And
before like we even saw the cop though, like, it all happened so fast. So like we're in the cafeteria, there's like a side door. Yeah. And I was like, oh, there's my car. Literally like through a door. It was like a parking lot. And then it was almost like in Jaws when you see like the fin of the shark. It's like we saw this much. It was like the headlights and like the white of the cop car, and it went. And it wasn't a cop car. It was like one of the cop SUVs. You know? So like it was like a Chevy
and it parked,
SUV. And
it was parked in this out. Like, to give you a map, if you're watching the video version, hold my mic for me real quick. Hold it right here. This is where Chris's car is parked in front of the building. And then this is like an alleyway right here. And then the other building. So that's the main building's over here. Cafeteria building's here. A little tiny alleyway. And then Chris's car is parked in this very first visitor spot. And this cop car drives up from the back of the alleyway and then just sits right there. Right next to where Chris's car is parked. Right in the alleyway. The only way that we can get, like, that's the alleyway we walk down to get behind the building. So if we were to retrace our steps to get to Chris's car, like, we would have had to walk by the cop car. To put that into like perspective for you.
Yep.
And so we start running and we run back to the door that we like came through, and you'll see all this in the vlog. And right
my vlog's out as this goes up, by the way.
Oh, well, look at that.
Yeah.
Right as we get to the door, mine will be up eventually, by the way. We get to the door that we came in from, and I like tell Chris, I'm like, Chris, stop, don't open the door, because in my head I'm like, if there's two cop cars, like, or if there's like two police officers, if one of them's walking around and we open this door right now, like, we are caught red-handed. Like, don't open the door until we can tell like who's out there.
And while
because I'm really good in situations like this.
I
right?
am not.
Chris is not.
I'm traumatized because
when I told him to stop and he looked at me,
I like started hyperventilating.
He was like, I've never seen him shaking more in his entire life. He was like borderline, like on the brink of tears.
It was bad.
And I remember
scared the shit out of me.
I had to like look at him. And I had to like whisper, yell at him. I was like, Chris, you need to pull yourself together, because if you're acting like this, we are not making it out of this situation. Do you understand me?
Well, like, I hate like breaking
the law.
Yeah, because of like there's that risk of shit like that happening. And like I remember, I'm traumatized because this is a super quick side rant. I was ding dong ditching in like middle school in broad daylight, like a dumbass, and this dude like chased us down and like cut me and some people off. No, some dude from his house chased us down, cut us off, and like yelled at us, and like it just freaked me out. So I'm always like, I don't know, I just don't want to do stuff like that, especially because we are making content. I don't want to like jeopardize that by doing something stupid. And but in the heat of the moment, I was, first of all, literally, I think it was probably 110, 115 degrees.
Yeah, it was really hot in the cafeteria.
No air. It was already like 100 outside, and so it was like literally an oven. So I was sweating my ass off. And then that we saw the cop, and my heart like literally sank so far, and I was like, we just got to get out of here right now. And so I started running. You'll see the video. And like right when the footage ends is when like she was like, Cam was like, don't open the door yet, just because, you know, it might. She was like, don't open the door yet because there might be two of them. And I was like, well, if we sit in here long enough and he gets out to investigate and we're in here, we're fucked. So we just need to get out now.
And so when we walked out and I'm like, act like we're looking at the field, And me being, you know, the genius that I am, I was like, it's going to be fine. We're going to walk around the building and we're just going to be the most lovey-dovey that we've ever been in our 5 years of our relationship. And we're going to act like two people that live near the school that wanted to take a walk around to look at it. And then as we're working our way around the building, I'm like, wait, take your memory card out of your camera.
I actually was like, what if he asked for memory cards?
Right. I said, take it out of your camera. Yeah. I put our memory cards in my bra in case if I had it all planned out. I have only had to sweet talk. Well, actually, no. I've only been pulled over in my life once, and I didn't even really sweet talk the police officer then. I just was crying and I was like, I don't even know if I was crying. I think I was just like shocked. And the police officer was like, I can tell like you didn't mean to like do that. So like, it's fine. Just don't do that again. But I was like, I know if I had to, I could sweet talk a cop, not to brag or anything, but you got to put the pretty privilege to use when you can, right? So I was like, I can sweet talk this cop. If he asks to see what's on our cameras, I'll be like, we're so stupid, we forgot our memory cards. So we've just been taking a walk around the building, just looking around and stuff. Like, we've just been walking around the outside because we left our memory cards at home like idiots. How could we? Like, I was ready. I had everything played out in my head, and we're walking around the building, and I'm like, hold my hand and just act like you're looking around, and it's fine. And then we walked up to our car, and he didn't say anything to us. And
it's funny too because like when we were two things. One, when we right when we walked out of the cafeteria door, you were like looking around to see if the cop was there, and so I was.
Oh yeah, I thought they would like drive away, but he like parked in the alleyway,
and his car was on. And there's video footage of me saying before we walked into the cafeteria, I was like, I think I hear a car, and you were like, you think there's a cop? You were like,
I don't think that was the cop though.
I know, but you were like, there's no way, or you said something like that.
Well, I gotta tell you shit to get you to believe it.
I know you're a manipulator, and not in like a.
It's a positive manipulation though.
You're a Slytherin.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but like,
there's footage of me walking around. Is what I'm trying to say. While you went, am I allowed to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. We walked out of the cafeteria, and you like went to see if the cop was there.
Mm-hmm.
In my like panic, I'm just like recording the field. There's like footage of me like I keep zooming in and out to make it look like I'm doing something to the field, and then I said something. I was like, there's the field, guys. And then I like just zoomed over a little different, but it was funny. Like Cam said, we walked up. I literally didn't say anything. When we walked out and the cop was still there in visibility, you started like talking, and you were like, oh,
well,
you started saying bullshit. But like I was
make
just
it
like,
look like.
No, I didn't say anything. But I didn't look scared. I was just like,
no,
I looked confused. I was like, what? I literally played that up. I was like, is there a cop there? And I didn't look at him once. Walked right in front of his car, got in my car, turned it on, literally put the car in reverse in front of him, did like a 3-point turn and left.
Yeah.
And
honestly, in retrospect, looking back at it, I literally don't think that cop cared at all about people being there.
Fuck no, because there were other people there taking pictures.
Yeah, there were people still at the gym.
Out.
I think that literally that cop probably has to go out there once every other week when an alarm accidentally gets triggered, because that's just like his job, and he's like, I know that this is only happening because of Stranger Things.
He's like, yes, I don't have to.
Yeah, he's probably like, I can just have to sit in my car. It's whatever. So we were probably freaked out over nothing. And I don't know about Chris, but I'll definitely go back to the school at some point because it was fun.
With gas prices being so high, I don't want to go back right now, but like eventually.
It's not that far of a drive.
It's like an hour drive, and it adds up.
Yeah.
I mean, we filmed so much good footage there, but
yeah,
hot takes time.
More. Okay, so that was our fun little story time about what happened to us recently. Also, real quick, I'm gonna say congratulations to Chris because he hit 20K subs. No, wait, yeah, 20K subs on.
Yes.
That sounded like wrong to say for some reason on YouTube. Congratulations.
Thank you.
He doesn't like getting complimented, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Thank you guys for showing support. It means a lot. If you're here from my YouTube or Cam's YouTube.
Maybe we should start posting shorts on the podcast.
I mean, maybe, yeah. Shorts is cool.
Okay, we're going to go through some hot takes. I asked you guys on my Instagram to give us your Stranger Things hot takes. We'll probably sprinkle in a few of our own throughout this as the conversation starts to flow.
And drop yours in the comments if you're on the video version. Like, even if we don't talk about them, give us your thoughts on every hot take in the comment section. If you watch the whole thing, hit the like button. And also, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff.
So true. Okay, the first hot take, which is extremely hot, by the way. I'm not in love with Eddie. Don't murder me, please. Well, you're just incorrect, and I don't know what else to say to you.
I don't even know if this is like... Here's the thing. I really like the character of Eddie. I do. But.
It's always a but.
There's always a but. He is like the new heartthrob character that they introduce, which is like every season kind of, in a way. And so like, it's so cool to like hop on this train, but like, I'm loyal. I'm a loyal hoe.
You're a loyal
And
whore.
like, Steve is my guy from the day one.
The thing
so
is,
like, I'm not going to abandon him and be like, oh, kill Steve. That's fine. Give me Eddie.
I don't want them to kill Steve. For me, in terms of just looking at Steve and Eddie, Eddie caters to my type more. You know what I mean? Like, my type is Bucky Barnes, not Captain America, you know? It's one of those things.
Whatever makes you comfortable, or whatever justifies it in your head.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
I'm saying like.
I still no. Steve is.
If you're
I
talking
still,
about your type and like I'm your boyfriend, like I have 10 times more similar.
my
to Steve
type
than
outside of you,
Okay,
like my type fictionally.
I guess.
Because if we look at my repertoire of fictional men,
Jesus Christ, that's a long list, by the way.
shut up.
Am I wrong?
Whatever.
You're gonna sit there and tell me that I'm wrong.
Long story short, we love Eddie in this household.
I like Eddie quite a bit. No slander of him, but I am saying I can see why you might not absolutely love him, because I think that he is currently the most like probably overhyped character in the show, but that's not a bad thing. His scene was going to be so sick with the guitar, and again, Cam's facial reaction right there is the visualization of like having a take and saying overhyped, and people thinking that means you don't like something.
Well, we've got
because
a couple.
The two don't
we have
correlate.
There's a hot take in here saying something's overrated, and I think you're gonna disagree with it.
Well, we'll see, but I love Eddie Munson. I do. I hope he lives.
Me too.
I think he'll be the one to go, but we may get into that later. I don't know if a take revolves around that.
Me too. Sorry, got distracted.
Steve supremacy.
This next hot take is I was not sad at all when Billy died. I have opinions on this. Here's the thing. Discourse on how you feel about the character of Billy aside, if you didn't cry for Max in that scene when she like falls to her knees and he's like, Max, I'm sorry, and she's crying and she like is sobbing into Eleven's arms, then you're soulless, because I felt so bad for Max in that scene. Like, regardless of if you like the character of Billy or not, like that scene was sad for Max.
I agree completely, and like even then, it's just a really well done scene from like the music and the direction, and like the shot of him when he's like standing there and he like looks up and he just looks completely done. Like it's such a well done scene that it draws out that emotion for me. Did I love Billy? I didn't love him. I thought he was one of the better characters that was introduced. I mean, he had a nice arc going for him. Damn good performance, and like I said, his sacrifice just meant more because we saw Max and even like Eleven's face and even like everyone's face.
Yeah.
Like Billy wasn't friends with those people, but you could see that deep down inside him, Billy was still there.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of like a turnaround for him. So that's why it's a well done scene.
Poor Billy.
I didn't cry. I don't cry in a lot of this, but like it is sad in my opinion.
I cried a little bit.
It is still sad.
Max is my girl.
I don't understand the overwhelming, recently, like more so than not, like this like anti-Billy.
It's because this is the first time Stranger Things has been talked about with the internet as big as it is, and
I'm not an advocate for his actions. I'm just saying.
No, same. Like I think it's tricky because I definitely think in season 2, like they wrote the character of Billy to be racist, but then they dropped that in season 3, so it's like kind of a tricky thing where there's like people on the internet, they're like, people that have Billy as like their favorite character just choose to ignore that he's racist, and it's like, are they really ignoring it, or did the Duffer Brothers literally decide to drop that plot point? You know what I mean? Because the Duffer Brothers had it written for him to like say the N-word, and then Dacre was like, I'm not gonna do that. So it all depends. It's, you know, people are what they are on the internet, so you do what you can. Okay, next hot take. Season 1 is my least favorite season. It's still amazing. Would you like to have any input before I
already know what your thoughts are, but like
I made a 30-minute YouTube video about my thoughts. I mean,
the thing is, like, that's someone's opinion. Like, they're justified in having any opinion.
That's this whole video.
Yeah. It's just like, I think that it's like, of the 4 seasons, like that is the one that has the right to be. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Of the 4 seasons, all the others deserve to be at the bottom. Like, compared to that, that's not what I mean. Let me try and word this right, please.
Okay, you got it.
So there's 4 seasons laid out in front of you.
Yes.
Right?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes.
Season 1 can be year 1, 2, or 3. It has no right to be number 4 for anybody, in my opinion.
Well,
that's my 2 cents.
I got news for you.
Because here's why. It's just like, seriously, it's one of the best written seasons of the show. Yep. It started everything that we love now. Mm-hmm. It could have ended. Like, everything wrapped up perfectly where it could have just ended as a miniseries. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's just, like, so easy, not only in Stranger Things, but other fandoms, for people to just disregard what started it all. I
disagree. I think it's harder for people to disregard what started it all based on nostalgia. Like, okay. I think people will be like, oh, season 1 can't be the worst season because it started it all. it gave us everything about Stranger Things.
I don't see anyone talking about Phase 1 MCU. I'm a defender, but like I'm just saying, like,
I think, okay, for those of you that, if you don't follow me on YouTube or whatever, if you didn't see my YouTube video, I made like a 30-minute long video talking about season 2 of Stranger Things and how I don't think it's the worst season because it gets so much slander on like Twitter and TikTok and all that stuff as being the worst season of Stranger Things. And I think every season of Stranger Things gets better and better and better. I think the Duffer Brothers continue to outdo themselves in writing, in character story arcs, in everything that they do. They outdo themselves, special effects, storyline, everything. Therefore, with every season getting better and better and better, one is at the bottom for me. Not in a bad way though. I just think season 2 just season 2 outdoes it. Season 2 outdoes it.
That is, I disagree. Like, that's one of my biggest disagreements ever. The season that opens with some random fuckers in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or wherever they are.
Okay, you're gonna let 5 minutes of an opening of an episode determine the entire season?
Oh, let's get into this. I don't mind getting heated here. The first 5 episodes of season 2, 5, are dealing with this plot about the demo dogs and Dart, and it's all just so forgettable. It's setting things up. Like, it's a whole setup season, which is necessary in the grand scheme of the show. All of season 2 is just set up for where there's nothing wrong with that. It is just the weakest and slowest paced season by far, in my opinion. And I like it a lot. It ends with a bang. Episode 6, 7's garbage, worst in the entire show. And then 8 and 9. 6, 8, and 9, that's a great triple feature. But like 1 through 5, like they're just doing the same old dilly-dally. Oh, we're running around, Hopper, something's wrong with the pumpkins. It's almost a rehash of like season 1, in my opinion. I don't dislike it. That's the thing, is where you probably think I hate its guts. I like it. Go ahead.
The thing is that, yeah, it takes a lot of things from season 1 and it does rehash it, but I think does it for the better.
How is it, if it's rehashing, like how is it better than, how is it improving upon the first season?
Okay, that's so I think the Mind Flare is a cooler concept of a villain than the Demogorgon.
Okay.
But they take the Demogorgon, their iconic season 1 villain, and they take it and they put it into a thing called Demodogs. So it's close to the same thing, but it's not.
Correct.
So you have that plus the Mind Flare. So you already have 2 great villains that they have to tackle in this season. What was your other reason that you didn't like? You don't like
I'm saying it's extremely slow paced. Like compared to all the other seasons, this is the one that takes the longest to kick it into that next gear.
I don't feel like it does.
Like it until like episode 6.
I get
That's
bored.
The first one.
I get bored watching season 1.
To each their own, but like season 1, I've seen the most, like by far.
How many times have you seen season 2?
2.5, 3 times.
How many times have you seen season 1?
5 to 7.
I
genuinely.
I really feel like this is the same.
Oh, don't do it! Don't do it! I know what you're gonna say.
This is the same concept as how you've seen the first 2 Harry Potter movies the most, because by the time you finish the second one, you give up on your marathon. You know what I mean? You've seen season 1 the most because that's where you start your rewatch, and then
the thing about that is like I couldn't get into it. Like I'm into all of Stranger Things. I'm into it. See, you've probably convinced yourself. Have you convinced yourself that I hate season 2?
Yeah.
You're delusional.
Name one thing you like about it.
I love season 2.
Name one thing you like.
I love the introduction of Billy. I love the introduction of Max. Bob's death is extremely impactful. This freaking soundtrack is kick-ass. The last 3 episodes, as I have said within the last 5 minutes, are fantastic. But I don't want to go in on you, but like I feel like you're doing the thing that's in social media where it's like, oh, if this is my least favorite.
If
you hate it. Just like if I put something in the bottom of my Phase 4 ranking. Why is Chris a Marvel hater? He hates this. It's my ranking. Something has to be at the bottom, and it's season 2. I think that it is the most flawed season. I still enjoy it.
Flawed. I want to put you and Jenna.
So 1 is your most flawed season?
No, I don't think any of the seasons are flawed. I want to put you and Jenna on a phone call.
Okay.
Because if anybody can advocate for season 2,
I'm hearing you
Jenna.
out. I hear out season 2. I'm not saying it's a bad season. I'm saying compared to the other 3, it is my least favorite. And I think saying season 1 is like least favorite, like that's your opinion. I can't say no, you can't have that. But like if you were to say it's the worst, if someone were to say that would be problematic.
Well, moving on to the next hot take that I also agree with. Max is by far the best kid. And I agree.
Yeah. I mean, like
As of season 4, volume 1, yes. Real and true. I love Dustin. I think the top 2 contenders for best kid are Max and Dustin.
Yeah, I agree.
And as much as I
They're
love
my top 2
Dustin,
kids.
like, I don't know. For me, I think I just side more with like the sarcastic type of character as opposed to like the comic relief type of character. And I think Dustin's more comic relief and Max is more sarcastic.
Yeah, for sure. I will say this. I think they're the 2 lead kids this season, and I think that the Dustin erasure needs to stop because a lot of people online are being like,
there's Dustin erasure.
all he does is make jokes. I'm like, okay, take his ass out and see what those fucking idiots get done.
No, he's definitely the smartest.
Take him out and see what they get done this season.
He's
you
the
fools. it gets me mad. They're like, Dustin's just sitting there being stupid and making jokes the whole time. I'm like, for sure. Then nothing would have happened in the finale of this. Or, excuse me, episode 7.
Dustin like cracks half the case every season.
Boom.
Yeah, Dustin literally is.
How about this? I think Max is the best, but Dustin's my favorite.
Yeah, I know he's your favorite.
So I agree. Max is the best kid.
Okay, period. When we agree on something, yes. Next hot take: 11 is overrated.
Agreed. And agreed in the
tricky.
sense that like people have her as like the best character in the show, and I disagree with that.
Yeah,
she's a great character.
It's hard to say because like 11's storyline has been the most out of every storyline in all seasons. 11's storyline has been the most wishy-washy. Like I think she's really fun and interesting in season 1, and I think she is the weakest point of season 2. Like if it wasn't for her, I think season 2 would be.
I think also that
really good.
Her storyline in season 4 was pretty much not dreadful because I enjoyed watching it, but like it was a damn drag.
They talk about
until
that's another hot take later.
Episode 7.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. Like it's tricky because I want to be like, yeah, she is kind of overrated, but also like feels almost wrong saying that about her because in a way she's kind of the main character. So like I think she's not overrated, it's just we don't really know the whole story for her yet. So like feeling like seeing people hype her up so much feels weird because we really don't understand like what 11's all about yet.
Yeah, that's a fair take for sure.
This next one I know we're going to agree with, and it's definitely not a hot take. Mike's character arc has been awful since season 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Facts.
Like they could kill him off right now, and I would be like, that's fine. Like
he is probably
I'm not
like
saying I support his death, but I mean, do what you got to do.
Mike is like one of the deaths I probably would not cry over. I'd cry because I'd be seeing Will and 11 cry, but like I wouldn't cry if Mike died. Like I wouldn't be upset about it.
He's regressed.
He's just mean and he just sucks. Like season 3, Mike gives me an ick. Genuinely. Like I just hate looking at him. He's a horrible friend. He like gives up on he has he even spoken to Dustin since like season 2?
I don't know, but all I say is this: after he gives Hopper attitude, he should have had his ass drug outside and bitch slapped silly by Hopper.
Yeah, that's the way he treats Hopper in season 3 is fucked up. Another thing that's fucked up is in season 3 where he's like bullying Will for wanting to play D&D, and he's like, "What? Did you think we were gonna sit in my basement and play games for the rest of our lives?" And then he goes to high school next year and joins the D&D team.
And he's dismissive of Will when he sees him.
Yes,
Callie.
He's so mean.
He's like, oh, hey.
His entire character
like,
arc.
Who are you?
Since season 2, his entire character arc has just been to be obsessed with 11, and like that's just not doing it for me anymore.
Yeah, they haven't done much with him.
I didn't write this down, but someone said, they talked about my story, and they said that the build up to Mike and 11's relationship was better than their actual relationship, and I would have to agree with that statement.
I concur.
I really would have to agree. All right. Next hot take. I don't think Steve and Nancy should get back together.
Interesting.
There's a couple of Stancy, Nancy, Jancy hot takes up in here.
What
do you think?
I think they should. I think that they're a great match for each other. I mean, and I think that the writers have been setting us up for them to get back together just to kind of break our hearts in one way or another. Which we
don't talk about it.
Next week will be like our final predictions episode. But yeah, I think they deserve each other, and I think they're better for each other. I mean, yes, early on, Steve's kind of a jerk, but like growth.
Yeah,
they're with each other at the end of season 1.
This is true. They are.
Steve's a loyal hoe.
Steve is loyal.
Steve also never took secretive photos of her.
So true. Steve's
Like a
not a
creep.
pervert. I like Steve and Nancy. I really do. I think Steve's been a bit of a whore in this season. He's had quite a few ladies on his hands, but I think he's only ever really had eyes for one girl, and I think that girl is Nancy. Real and true. Now, this next hot take, I don't think you're going to agree with, but I have my thoughts on it. Robin is overrated. Thoughts?
Robin's a queen. My fourth favorite character in the show.
Same.
I don't like the slander. Like if I'll hear you out on what I say, but I don't like the slander of people being like, she sucks, like kill her off.
Oh no, I'm not like that for sure.
People are like, she's so annoying every time she talks. I'm like, what? I disagree strongly. I think that she adds a lot of life and just charm to this group. She's a great like wingman for Steve. Her relationship with Nancy is awesome in this season. She adds a lot of value to the show, and I agree. She's just a charming character. I love her.
Love Robin so much in season 3, and I love her in season 4. She's also my fourth favorite character in the show. But one thing that has come to my attention while watching season 4 repetitively over the past few weeks, I don't know, it feels like every single line Robin says in season 4 is just for comedic relief. Like in season 3, she had a lot of comedic relief lines, but she also had a lot of moments where she was like smart and figuring things out, and she was doing a lot of the problem solving. But like every single line she says is to make us laugh or to make us feel relief. And they've written her like extra ADHD this season, which I'm allowed to say because I have ADHD, and it's just like they wrote her very like spastic, which she wasn't as spastic in season 3. And it's like, it's not bad, but it's just like once you notice it, once you notice that all she does is say things for comedic relief, it's like the only thing you can notice when you watch her talk in season 4. And I want them to give her more, because one of the things I was so excited for season 4 was to get more of the character of Robin, and like I feel like we haven't. It's just she's very like, we dove so much into her character with that scene.
She's surface level this season?
Yes, like we dove so much into her character in season 3 with like her telling Steve that she is a lesbian and all that great stuff, and I was like, oh my god, she's great, I can't wait to see where we go with her. And then they just like crawled their way up back to the surface, and now she's just like a very flat and stagnant character to me, and I don't get why they did that. Like every single thing she says is just to make someone laugh.
Yeah, I guess she's a lot more of a comedic presence. Isn't she kind of smart though? Like, isn't she?
She is smart, but not in this season.
I thought she was like helping crack the code with Nancy.
I mean, she is, but like Nancy's doing most of that work. Like she's only there with Nancy because they didn't want Nancy to go alone. And then she's like, well, I offered to go with you because you said this was a shot in the dark, but I didn't know you actually meant it was a literal shot into like a deep, dark, black hole type of dark. Yeah. And it's just like,
yeah, I don't know.
She helps like a little bit, but not like Nancy, I think, carries most of the weight in that. Fair. In the detective work for Victor Creel. And then she has her one speech when they're trying to talk to Victor Creel, but like even that is still meant to be funny. Like it's not even real. So I don't know. That's just I still love Robin. She's 4th on my character list. It's just like, I don't know, the way that they wrote her this season is kind of irritating me a little bit, just because I wanted them to give her more, and I feel like they gave her less than they have in season 3.
That is fair, but also at a certain point, they're juggling so many characters right now. Where is she on the priority list?
That is true.
That's just like, you know.
But like, give her lines that aren't comedic relief every 5 seconds. You know, just give her something else, maybe.
That's fair.
This next one, speaking of all the characters they have to juggle, this next hot take, Eddie actually isn't a good character.
I think he's a good character. So
I disagree.
We don't need to. You disagree with what I just said?
I know, I disagree with the hot take,
okay.
silly goose.
I was like, what the fuck?
No. I think he is a good character. I think he's a fun time, and I think he's going to save everybody.
What if they just don't kill anybody?
That'd be really nice. People,
it's not set in stone.
If they don't kill anybody.
We're doing the Game of Thrones thing where it's like, oh, they're going to kill 50 people. And it's like,
yeah.
Historically, has the show killed that many people? The answer is no.
No.
There's one big death per season.
Know for a fact that if they didn't kill anybody this season, I think a lot of people would be really pissed, but I'd be pretty happy. I'd be like, I'm good. Because they can kill anybody they want in season 5. If it's the last season and I know I'm not going to see any of the characters again, kill whoever you want. I don't even care. Well, I do care. I'd like for some of them to stay alive, but you know what I mean.
I think someone needs to die in order for the stakes to be felt. Like think about it. If no one dies, it's like, okay, then the threat is real to these new people who get introduced. The Freddie Benson looking kid. Is his name actually Freddie Benson?
Fred Benson.
Just like
yeah,
iCarly.
I just pray that it's not Eddie. Lord Vecna, take anyone but Eddie. Jonathan's right there.
I'm telling you guys.
Jonathan is right there.
They've been, and I know you don't want to hear this either. I don't want to hear it, but listen, they introduced Eddie as a role model to Dustin and Mike in the first episode, and then he's gassing up, to Steve. He's like, that kid worships you, and it's like, dude, he is being introduced to possibly take Steve's spot.
You think he's taking Steve's spot?
I'm saying that's a possibility.
Oh.
If I'm looking at it from a writing perspective, introducing someone who's, the kids look up to him.
You think they're going to kill Steve?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, shit. I thought you were going to tell me that they're going to kill Eddie.
No.
That's why I started plugging my ears.
I was wondering why you were. They introduced him. He's like a role model to the kids. He's cool. He's funny. Him and Steve kind of have a little bit of a
banter?
Yeah, banter. And like the whole romance with Steve.
They've got the chat.
The romance with Steve and Nancy's being resparked, so they're probably going to do something with it. But
there's no way they kill
piss
Steve.
People off.
There's no way they're killing Steve.
See, but everyone's so confident. And that's the funny thing. Every time me and her or me and anyone have talked about it, it's like, oh, there's no way they're going to kill insert name here. There's no way they're going to kill insert name here. It's like, okay, you're right. They're going to kill Enzo. That's it. That'll be super impactful. And I'm not taking a shot at Enzo / Dimitri. I think he's a great character. But, like, if that's the biggest character whose life will be lost, like, there's bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. But just please not Eddie.
We'll see. 50-50 right now.
Take anyone but Max and Eddie.
Yeah, we'll
Please.
see. What's the next one?
The next one is Will and Lucas are useless. That kind of rhymes a little bit.
Will and Lucas, they're fucking useless. No, they're not.
I
think they are useful.
I think they're very useful. I think there's been a lot of Lucas slander from this season, and I will not fucking stand for it. I love Lucas with my whole heart. He is one of my favorites, and he had a really, really good moment in this season where he like misleads Jason and that group of people, and he like runs and goes to find his friends at the school and all that just because he thought Dustin was in trouble. And then Dustin's like, dude, we got more important things to worry about right now. Like, Lucas will do anything for his friends, and I love him for that. In terms of Will, it's not his fault that he's in California.
Will is useless right now. I mean, like, that part of the statement I think is valid. Like, he isn't doing shit. None of them in the California storyline are. There's no defense of it. They are not doing shit.
Well, here's the thing. I think the California storyline is useless because they haven't been where the action is. If I'm going to break down all the characters in the California storyline, I think Will is the most useful. I think Will is the smartest out of that group of people. If any of them are a waste of space, Mike's not going to do shit. All Mike cares about is 11, and he's annoying because of it.
Yeah.
Jonathan has about one brain cell left. He's one more joint away from just being the dumbest man alive.
Yeah. And
Argyle's just, if I have to live in a world, no offense, where Argyle makes it to season 5 and Eddie doesn't, I'm not going to boycott the show because it's my favorite show, but I'll be pretty damn pissed.
I know you say that as like a joke, but like in actuality, like killing Argyle would be the most meaningless death in the entire show. So like
they don't need to kill him, just don't put him in season 5.
The world we live in is like we're going to live with an Argyle in season 5, and in
Eddie
return,
better be there too.
One of our favorite characters will not be there, but we will still have Argyle.
That's horrible. That is horrible.
So that could be Steve, Nancy, Robin,
if Argyle
Dustin, Mac, any of them.
No, kill him off. I can't. That's horrible. That's genuinely horrible.
As far as Lucas's, role, I do think that he's a little bit of like a second string player right now. Like this season in particular, he hasn't done much, but I'm not saying he's useless.
I know he's about to sucker punch the shit out of Jason.
Yeah, and here's my thing.
I look forward to it.
I've been saying this all along. In reality, the core group, the Will, Lucas, Dustin, Mike, I forgot him for a second. They will be at the focus of season 5. They will be like the main characters. That's
Do you
that's
think
just
they're
how
gonna
it
keep
is.
them all together this time?
Yeah, it's and I hate to make like Marvel comparisons, but it's the equivalent of like how everyone got dusted, but like our OGs were all together for the
Yeah.
final movie. It's the final run. You're gonna have your originals together.
And Max.
I don't know. I honestly don't.
Please.
If they kill Max and Eddie, what are you gonna do? Like this season, so they're not in the final season.
I don't want to talk about it.
Jesus Christ.
Like I can't even fathom and explain to you. How would you
Still
feel? How would you feel if they killed Steve?
Oh, pissed. But if it fits the story, I mean, you know who we're forgetting about? Daddy Hopper. He's coming home, baby. He's coming home with a fucking vengeance.
I'd rather keep Max and Eddie.
I'd keep Hopper over Max and Eddie. Is that a hot take? We're getting
Over
spicy.
Max?
Over Max and Eddie, keep Hopper. People have shat on the Russia storyline. It's like, this man has a second lease at life right now, and I just know that he's gonna have. He's also like, to me, like almost the main character.
Well, it's fine because Joyce is dying anyways.
I think is
so.
Hopper. Is there an argument to be made that Hopper is the main character of the show? What are the arguments to be made? Like who? Let's get into it real quick. 11.
I don't
Who
have
else?
any arguments. Wait,
Who the arguments for who the main character of the show is? You
11.
could argue 11. I mean, she probably is, but
this
like
season,
argue
Max.
for someone else. Throughout all four. Hopper
Will.
is like number 2 for me.
Will.
Okay.
Joyce.
Michael.
Hell no.
Oh man. Moving on to the next one.
Making the episodes over an hour long was a horrible idea.
I think that's
Disagree.
an L take.
Disagree.
Yeah, that's an L take.
That I could watch 14-hour episodes of Stranger Things and I would not complain.
Time for your weekly Disney Plus slander from me. We've seen shows with episodes less than an hour, and it's unfulfilling. And then we have to wait a whole last week.
Yeah.
So it's just not fun.
I think
The Boys does it right. They do 1 hour on the dot, which I'm fine with. But these being like an hour 15, I love it. I could sit here and watch. I'm not kidding. I could watch 2 to 3 hour episodes.
the Duffer Brothers, I think, talked about this during Geek Week, and they were like, when we storyboarded out this season and we filmed it all, and then we sit down to edit the episodes, and as we're editing it, we're like, oh shit, these are really, really, really long episodes. Like, we didn't know that they were gonna end up being over an hour long each.
Yeah.
And then we also didn't anticipate to split it into 2 volumes. But thankfully, like, where we split it, like, there's a very good like indication of like where a split could be, so the split worked, but that wasn't even like their original intention. So I hope they continue the hour-long episodes in season 5. Like, I hope they're longer. Fuck it,
Why not?
give me more because it's the last season, you know.
Yeah.
All right, this next one is not a hot take among us, but I think it's a hot take among other people for some reason. Barb is annoying and I hate her. Real and true. I would tattoo that on me if I could.
Yeah, Barb's.
Barb is the worst.
Barb's
You know
really
what
irritating.
Barb does
really irritating.
for the 2-3 episodes that she's in the show? She shames Nancy for wanting to hang out with Steve and Steve's friends, and then she slut shames Nancy for wanting to sleep with Steve. And how dare she? Nancy is doing what we all want to do. We all, as a collective human race, would love to sleep with Joe Curie.
This is true.
And
confirm.
Barb goes, "This isn't you, Nancy. How about you shut the fuck up, Barb? All right? Go to the pool and just sit there. See you never."
I have no words for
The
Barb.
way that Barb swindles her
Talking
way
about her right now is making me nauseous.
the way that Barb swindles her way into every single season of Stranger Things is beyond me. She should have been left in the pool, forgotten forever. But she comes back every season. Every season, she manages to come back.
Irrelevant ass character.
All right, next hot take, which I don't know if you have any thoughts about this, but I do. I do not ship Chrissy and Eddie.
Well, Cam.
What?
Eddie's 20 years old.
Okay, well, first of all, that is a good point, though.
No, I know.
Don't-
I was just
You-
kidding because I made a TikTok
Yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah.
like I thought there was a little bit of a romantic spark, which I think they were clearly kind of setting up in my opinion. Personally, that's just me. I think
Here's
they were
the
setting
thing.
up something there
I
for
can
a future
see-
down the road.
I can see
And
what
people were like, bro, he's 20. And I'm like, yeah, he is. You're right.
I can see why people think that, because I think the actors have good chemistry, but genuinely, like, okay, I know we all hate Jason and what he becomes throughout the course of the season, but prior to his literal girlfriend dying, like, he doesn't suck that bad. He's just an annoying jock. Like every other jock is annoying. He's a normal jock. And I'm pretty sure Chrissy was very much in love with him. Like, they were they were genuinely into each other. Like, when he like blows her kisses and stuff, like, she blows kisses back. Like, she was into her boyfriend. I think that Grace and Joseph Quinn have very good chemistry, and I think there could have been a romantic opportunity there, but I think a lot of people literally forget that Chrissy was dating Jason, and Chrissy is the reason that Jason turns into like this fucking Gaston kill the beast type character.
Yeah, for sure. I was just saying, like, I think that scene was like, oh, maybe one day she'll leave Jason and maybe Eddie in a few years. Like, that's kind of what I was thinking, but, you know.
I ship them, but I don't want to discredit Chrissy's relationship with Jason. That's all I'll say.
I don't fuck with Jason at all. Sorry.
I don't mind Jason pre-Chrissy death. Like, he hadn't really done anything bad. He's supposed to be a character that we hate, but like in actuality, I'm picturing myself
what was
like
he doing when Chrissy was out?
He was waiting
dying.
for her. He was waiting for her to show up.
Okay.
She was like, "I'll meet you there. I have to do something first," aka buy cocaine.
Right.
Okay, this next hot take. I'm gonna say who it's from. It's from Emma.
All right.
She says, "01 is not attractive."
I agree.
Really? Well, okay, here's the thing. I don't think 01 is attractive. I think Jamie Kimmel Bauer is a nice looking fella. He's got his nice
he's not
moments.
ugly, but like not my type.
Yeah, definitely not your type. Not really my type either, but like I think objectively Jamie Kimmel Bauer is an attractive young man, but 01 and like the character of 01 and the personality of 01.
If you're into 01,
I have to clip this and send it to Sam. She's in love with him.
If you're into 01, you're probably into the Joker. You're probably into the Darth Mauls of the world. Like, there's like serious like Doc Ock maybe.
At least that's not my type.
Green Goblin.
At least that's not my type.
I mean, like, to each their own, but also like
look
at yourself in the mirror. Think about your
life.
Do
a little
choices.
Evaluation, maybe.
Reevaluate,
I don't know.
And
you're in love with this guy that just murdered a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
It's giving Anakin Skywalker. Yep. I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this next hot take is a bit of a steamy one, isn't it?
A little bit.
This person says Jancy is better than Stancy. If you don't know what that means, Jonathan and Nancy better than Steve and Nancy. Thoughts?
I disagree.
I also strongly
I'm a
disagree.
Stancy guy myself.
Bro, fuck Jonathan this season. He's right pissing me off.
I mean, they're not just clear with each other's intentions for the relationship, especially Jonathan. I'm going to go to community college and not tell her, right? Isn't that his thing? Like, yeah. He's like, I'm not going to tell her.
I like Jancy season 2. I'm a sucker for a good trope. I grew up with One Direction and reading One Direction fan fiction, so you know I love a good Wattpad trope type of a relationship. Do those words mean anything to you?
No, and don't even waste your breath. Just move on, please.
I love a good trope, and I love the trope of Jonathan and Nancy in season 2 when they're at Murray's house and like they're kiss and it's like but after season 2 I'm done with it. Them in season 3 literally so annoying. Them in season 4 quite literally non-existent. Jonathan in season 4 sucks ass as a character and he sucks as a boyfriend. He's literally, the thing that pisses me off is he's like, oh, I'm going to go to Lenora Community College, but I can't tell Nancy that because then Nancy will drop Emerson and come to community college with me. Thinking a little highly of ourselves, aren't we, Jonathan? You really think Nancy, girl boss Nancy Wheeler, is going to go to community college with you when you look like you haven't showered in 4 months? It's a little presumptuous, I'd say.
For sure.
A little presumptuous.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he doesn't even like hit her up even, it seems like.
And also maybe like tell your girlfriend the truth.
Yeah.
How about that? And also maybe like put on a pair of pants and like grow a sack or something because he's like, I can't leave my family. I can't leave my mom and Will. Yes, you can. Go. You got to get out of here, dude. You got to do something with your life. I genuinely think Jonathan is a waste of space this season, and
I have nothing to add to the conversation about him. I don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna be really mad if they kill Eddie when Jonathan is right there. Right there. If you want to kill off an adult, Jonathan. Right there.
Yeah, do it. Cool.
That's how I feel.
Write him off.
All right, next hot take. Kind of has to do with something we were talking about earlier. 11's storyline is repetitive and boring. This is something I want to talk about because I feel like 11's storyline in season 4 is literally them rehashing what they did with season 2, but they're doing it better. Now, this to be said, it is still a little bit boring. I definitely think that when 11's storyline's on screen, I go on my phone. It's been like that for the past 3 seasons. But it's essentially the same thing. 11 is fully separated from the group. She is fully like on her own. Literally in her little memory thing or whatever, 01 tells her the exact same things 08 would tell her, where it's like, go into an unlocked memory that like makes you angry, or that makes you feel like these really heavy emotions. Like, it's the exact same thing that 08 has already told her, and she's like learning it again. And it's like really funny because I think we're just supposed to forget that she ever like spoke to 08. Like, I think if they could remove that episode from Netflix, they would, because he's just telling her the exact same things that she should have already learned from 08. And then if it's a flashback, because he's telling her that when she's like a child, shouldn't she have already remembered that when 08 was teaching it to her? And I don't know, it's a whole thing. But it does feel very repetitive because it's essentially what happened in season 2, just better because it's with 01.
Yeah, I just like, I actually kind of agree with this take. And I'm not, and like now, currently, moving forward, I think it will be a lot more interesting because of the whole revelation that was made in episode 7. But other than that, it's 11 in a lab, essentially being a lab rat. It's unfortunate,
they need to
but it's
stop
just like
separating 11 from the group if they want.
It
her
was
to be
interesting when she was like trying to be normal, like
she
with
was fun
Angela,
in season 3.
and even at the beginning of season 4 was interesting, where she was trying to be normal because that was a new dynamic to her character. But it's like we're back to square one. It feels like, and that's kind of frustrating.
I'm upset that her head is shaved. I really liked her hair at the beginning of season 4.
Yeah,
she looked so cute.
She was embracing her Joyce Byers.
I know, love her.
Yep.
Okay, the next hot take is Lou Max is better than 11, which is Mike and 11, which is facts.
So Lucas and Max is better than Mike and 11. Yeah,
yes.
That's not even a hot take.
Not even a hot take.
No.
Lucas and Max are my favorite relationship.
I honestly...
Did that just give you whiplash?
No.
You looked at me so fast.
Oh, no. I was just going to say I think your phone did something. I don't know why it looked like that. But the most offensive thing I've had to watch in Stranger Things is, I don't like to say it, Mike and 11, like...
making out.
Yeah, like tongue.
Oy.
Like, not just making out. They're like
13.
shoving each other's tongues down their throats.
They were 13.
It's like, it is uncomfortable to watch.
Extremely.
I don't like it.
No, not at all.
It's just...
Lucas and Max are just the superior couple in every way, shape, and form.
Convulsed.
At the end of season 3, when they're singing to Dustin, like making fun of him, that's like one of my favorite scenes of them. Turn around. Look at what you see.
It's a good scene.
Very good. And I love Lucas and Max, and this season has been crushing me because they're not together, and it's been physically making me ill. And then you have like these really sweet moments when Max is at Billy's grave and like Vecna takes over, the first name she screams out is Lucas. And then when Lucas like at the beginning offers her like a ticket to his game, she's like, you really think I care about this stuff, Lucas? But then she's like at her house and like listening to the game on her radio because she does care. Oh.
Very sweet. Very, very sweet. Very sweet. Very, very sweet. Yeah.
Okay, next hot take is Nancy is such a good character. I don't know why people hate her.
I think she's a really great character.
I think she has her moments. I think, and when I say that, I mean like, first of all, Nancy season 1, peak of a character. Holy crap. Like Nancy season 1 is like what I want to be. You know what I mean?
That's like, honestly, like I was 16 when that came out, and I was down tremendously for them.
I do not blame you.
But like, I haven't felt that way in any other season. It was
it's
just
because of her hair.
I don't know what it was, but I was like, my God, I
First
get
of all,
it, Steve.
Steve, man, we understand you, dude. Man, they were such a good couple. The thing about Nancy is that season 2 Nancy, I'm honestly fine with her. I don't really have the main gripes with her. But season 3, she does this thing that like really triggers me, where her and Jonathan get in this fight after they get fired from the paper, and Jonathan's like, Nancy, like, you, like, I know it sucks that these dudes were, like, sexist and stuff, but, like, we were interns, and, like, you can't have everything just handed to you on a silver platter. Like, you have to work your way up in the world, and, like, you're not going to go from being an intern to, like, front page reporter within, like, less than a month. Like, that's just not how it works. And he's, like, upset that she got them fired because he's like, I have college tuition to pay and I have mortgage to pay. Like, he's helping, like, his mom pay for the house and stuff. And he's like, I have, like, these responsibilities that you don't have. Like, to you, this is just a job. To me, this is, like, me paying for the things that I have to pay for my family. And then Nancy's like, you just don't understand what it's like to be a woman, Jonathan. And it's like, listen, I love women. I'm a feminist myself. But, Nancy, for the love of God, just maybe shut up for like 5 seconds. Like, one of my pet peeves is when people can't really acknowledge their privilege, like, especially in like a show or whatever. And like Nancy's just like ignoring all of the privilege she has because she is like, well, I'm a girl and they were being sexist to me. So that's why I literally broke the law and like trespassed and stuff or whatever. And it's like, maybe like take it. Nancy in season 3, not my cup of tea. Up until the end when she picks up a gun. Every time Nancy picks up a gun, I'm on her side.
Which we have a shot of her with a shotgun in the quick like NBA Finals TV spot.
No, we see
like
that.
Never fully
I think
dropped.
we see that shot in the main trailer maybe.
Whenever the fuck we saw it, she's got a shotgun.
She's
So,
got a
doesn't
gun,
matter
ladies
when,
and
but she does have
gentlemen.
one.
Very excited for that. But yeah, season 3 Nancy, not necessarily my vibe, but I've come back around on her in season 4. That's for sure. Season 4, she's very much Nancy Drew, back on the case type energy, and I love that for her. So she's back on my good side. This next hot take is also about Nancy, which it says Nancy does not deserve Jonathan or Steve. They are better off without her.
So they're taking a shot at Nancy.
Yes.
Wow.
Listen, I think an argument could be made that Nancy doesn't really deserve Steve. There's definitely an argument to be made there.
There is a clear, there's
would
definitely
put so much money on the fact that Jonathan does not deserve Nancy at all.
I agree.
He, especially in season 4, Jonathan does not deserve that woman at all.
No,
and
he's doing the bare minimum from across the country.
He's literally throwing his relationship away
Absolutely.
with her.
Yeah, he
with
is.
the Hawkins it girl. Like, you got Nancy fucking Wheeler, dude. You got Nancy Wheeler. And you're throwing
Argyle's
it away.
better, I guess.
Throwing it away.
Yeah.
It makes me sick. Jonathan does not deserve Nancy, and honestly, let us not forget.
At this very point in time, Steve's better than Nancy. She's really like abrasive towards Robin, which kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like, read the room. As a fellow woman, I think you should be able to pick up on the
She
cues.
warms up to Robin.
I know she does, but I'm saying for a while, it's like, you and Steve. It's like, I mean, if you know Steve, which you claim to, it's pretty obvious they're just friends, even from the outside looking in my opinion. Like, yeah, they hang out all the time, but
even some of our friends tend to struggle with the concept that Steve and Robin are just friends.
you'll have to explain that to me after, because I don't know who you're talking about, but I don't want to have to cut and edit. So
One of our
just tell me.
friends thinks that Steve and Robin are endgame.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought. Okay.
Regardless of Robin's literal sexuality, but
I see what you're saying.
that's
now.
neither here nor there. I think that Jonathan does not deserve Nancy, and I also think everyone just loves to just forget that he quite literally took pictures of her naked. Like, we've just forgot. Even Nancy herself has forgotten about that, and I don't understand why we just moved on from that.
Let's talk about, like, I think people kind of, like, if I found out about that, like, I might break someone's camera too and, like,
Yeah.
fuck with them. Like, I'd be pretty pissed off about it.
Yeah.
And people are like, that's so rude. Like,
No,
what?
you were taking pervert pictures of my girlfriend, maybe. Maybe that's what that's about.
Yeah, all of my house as well.
That too?
I
You were
live in.
trespassing?
Yeah. Kind of like us.
Fuck Jonathan, dude. This next hot take says 11 is not the main character.
I think by definition she is like the main character of the show, but she doesn't. I don't know if this makes sense. She doesn't give off like main character energy. Yeah, she's not like I'm that girl. Like, there's other, like, Max has main character energy.
Mm.
Like Steve has main character
Mm.
energy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like even Dustin has it somewhat. But like Hopper, of course, the way that he lights that damn spear and he chucks it like a javelin through the demo. We're like, this is main character energy. 11, a lot of the times, and you know what? I think it's because she's just adjusting. She's working on her social skills. She's a few steps behind the kids.
I still can't believe they put her in public school. She can't even speak English yet, dude. She can't even form full sentences.
That is insane.
And they put her in public school.
That's borderline abuse.
That's horrible. Joyce was wrong
Throwing
for that.
the lambs to
Joyce
slaughter.
was dirty for that one.
They're
when it
trying
comes
to, be
to
a
11,
little,
when it comes to 11, it's one of those things where it's like she is the main character, but she doesn't have the most screen time because they give the screen time to the fan favorites. You know, like imagine if I'd say the Creel House storyline had the most screen time, right?
1,000%, and it carried.
Imagine
so hard.
if 11 had the screen time of the Creel House storyline and the Creel House had the screen time of 11.
Yeah, that would have been frustrating.
That would have been maybe the worst season of the entire show.
But I will say the Creel House storyline is the first time we've had like this big of a group of characters together, and that's why I love it so much.
It's hard to compare.
And it's not even.
I
close.
think, and the thing with the Creel House storyline is that the storyline in itself is so interesting that it could have been any of the characters. Like if Jonathan and Will and Mike were following the Creel House storyline, it still would have been interesting because the Creel House storyline is just fascinating in itself. It just also really benefits from the fact that all of the best characters are in the Creel House storyline.
Yeah, Steve, Eddie, Robin, Max,
Dustin, and Lucas.
I believe.
Don't forget Lucas. Okay.
No lie. 4 of my top 5 favorite characters because Hopper's in Russia. But
Hopper's in my top 5 as well.
Hopper's coming back to Hawkins. We'll talk
I
about
wonder
that
how
next
the fuck
week.
he's gonna get back.
I'm telling you guys right now, and this is a sneak peek for my theory next week. Someone's dying or they're finding a gate to the Upside Down that will somehow transport them to Hawkins because they are not being like, all right, guys, let's hop on our 9-hour flight back to Hawkins, Indiana. And like,
also,
not gonna just take
Enzo
a
has
plane.
to die because they're not taking Enzo back to Hawkins with them.
Exactly.
So
Enzo's gone. We'll talk about that next week. Sneak peek.
that was the end of our hot takes.
Wow. Went by pretty fast. It was fun.
Do you have any last minute ones you want to throw out there?
Um,
Quick jab at it.
A quick jab. I think that... No, I mean, I can't think of any hot takes off the top of my head. I think that we kind of touched on pretty much all the ones that we would have had.
I think my hot take is that when it comes to everyone predicting deaths for the show, everyone's predicting like really obvious choices, and
I have one then, but I'll wait for you to go first.
I think that we're overlooking a lot of characters that could die. Like I genuinely think Robin could die this season 100% because she is a fan favorite, so it would affect the audience really, really strongly. Like everyone would be really sad if Robin died, but she doesn't have like a really deep connection with all the kids in the group, so it doesn't really affect the kids all that much, but it would affect Nancy and it would affect Steve. And it could affect Nancy and Steve's relationship if Nancy were to see Steve's reaction to Robin dying.
This is true.
She has no ties to the rest of the group, like familial or otherwise, and I think she's unfortunately expendable. So I'm worried for Robin, but everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be Eddie because Eddie's the new character, and Stranger Things loves to introduce new characters and then kill them off, which is true, but also Stranger Things likes to introduce new characters to keep them around, like Max, Billy, Murray, Sam Owens. So maybe they'll keep Eddie around. I'm really, really hoping they do.
My hot take is that we will all love Brenner by the end of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Brenner's dying.
I do too. I think that Brenner is gonna like...
I think he slaps the collar on 11, dude. I think we're gonna hate him.
I know. I'm just throwing it out there. That's why it's like a hot take, because I just don't know. I feel like he's going to end up like, by the end, he is going to like kind of admit, basically like, be like, I was just terrible all along. He's going to like sacrifice himself for 11 or something.
I think the exact opposite. I think the whole thing with Brenner is he's not a bad guy inherently. I think he's a scientist that's gotten lost in the science when it comes to all the stuff with the kids in like 1979 and all that stuff. Because he very clearly cared about all those kids.
I think that's why they almost put that scene in, though, and showing his life and like his routine and his relationship with them, so that they could kind of plant the seed of maybe he'll have a turnaround.
But I think the thing is that because he's a scientist that's lost in the science, I think when 11 gets her powers back, she's going to be like, okay, time for me to go to Hawkins like Sam Owens promised. I think Sam Owens is biting the dust.
100% dead.
And I think that Papa's gonna kill Sam Owens when Sam Owens like is like, okay, 11, let's go to Hawkins.
I think the government, those government dudes that like shot up the house, the Byer house, I think they're gonna be the ones that kill Sam Owens.
Well, whoever, I think Sam Owens is getting killed, and then Papa's gonna be like, you're not going anywhere, 11, and he's gonna throw the collar on her, and then she's gonna fight the collar.
This is all gonna happen before season 5 because she is not. If she's still a damn lab rat in season 5, I might swear off the show.
She's going back to the, she's going to the Krill house.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is gonna happen like quickly. If you think like, yeah,
I think the show
quickly
opens with the explosion. Because the last thing we saw was her talking to 01.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to pick up there. Because they said they had no intention to break it up into volumes.
Yeah.
So it would make sense for the next episode to pick up where the storyline left off.
Correct.
Either that or it'll pick up with Nancy still being in Vecna's little mind thing.
Yep.
But that about does it for this episode of the podcast, I believe.
It does. Yep.
Good little fun, quick little episode. Let us know if you have any Stranger Things hot takes down below, or if you strongly agree or disagree with anything we've said in this video.
Yep.
We love to hear what you guys have to say.
Indeed. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We have been very inactive there. Maybe we'll try and post more clips. You know how we are.
I'm definitely going to clip this podcast and post some of it on my page. I've been really working on growing my Instagram lately. Me and Chris, it's really funny. We're both in a period of growth in like our respective fields. Chris has been doing his YouTube shorts and stuff, and that's really been helping grow his YouTube. And I've been doing my Instagram reels, which has been helping me grow my Instagram. Like, I'm trying to hit 50K on Instagram before June ends. So
I think you can do it.
I think you can hit 30K by the end of June.
Wow. That's a high number. That'd be cool.
Face bump me.
We'll see what happens.
Love to see it.
But yeah, if you guys are, listening here on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. It helps out. Subscribe to this channel. We're trying to grow the podcast channel. Make sure to hit the like button. It also really helps out. Subscribe to, all of our social medias. Follow us. They're all linked down below as well.
Yeah.
And next week, sneak peek, Stranger Things 4 Volume 2 final predictions. I think that'll be a fun one. Yep.
Yeah.
And then the next one after that.
We'll have seen it?
Probably a Volume 2 like spoiler
Oh my
talk.
God, I can't wait.
11 days, dude. 11 days.
If Eddie dies, though, I don't think I can talk about it.
You'll have to.
I don't want to.
You'll have to.
I don't want to.
You'll have to.
I don't want
I had to talk about things in life. When my sports team loses, I have to face those demons.
to. Okay, the love I feel for Eddie is far different.
I know. I'm just saying, like...
Far more intense.
Shit.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
That does it for today, you guys. Stay unusual.